Hey, legendary friends, I'm with Ian Hawkins. How are you today, Ian?
Very good, Ed. How are you?
Now, Ian, where on earth are we right now?
We're at Hornsby. You've kindly come all the way up to Hornsby to see our magnificent fountain, apparently, but it's not working at the moment. It's also meant to be a clock too, but it's never really worked.
Well, I think it looks awesome, and I just want to say, so great to be with you. And we're talking off camera. You help people with grief and traumas, don't you, Ian?
Yeah, absolutely. So people who are looking to really expand their impact, they're stuck because they've got something they're not really sure that's holding them back. And it's often it's not often, it's always some kind of loss or grief or trauma from their past that's repeating patterns for them that's stopping them from really moving forward to where they want to go and having that impact they really want to have.
Now, when we were speaking before, you made a reference that got me thinking. You were saying that you can have a trauma from years ago. Let's say you lose your job 2 years ago, that can still haunt you to this day and screw you up. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's often people experience grief and they go through it and they think they've moved on from it, but it's the unresolved part of us that keeps playing out that causes us to have patterns that then repeat and keep us stuck. So it's and the actual trauma event that they recognise, so maybe they have lost a job or they've lost someone who's passed away, there's often a pattern that happened from quite a young age that then plays out again when they're going through that grief at an older age. So it's about not only clearing that trauma from the more recent event, but from whatever is causing their pattern for them to go in such a spin when the event happened as well.
Oh, incredible. And you are talking to the right guys, the guy who's had many traumas in his life. And you're talking about clearing trauma. Again, not too much detail because I don't want to confuse everyone, but you clear traumas. So is that you help people get over stuff that happened to them in the past?
Yeah, so I'm highly intuitive, and when I have a conversation, I said this to you before, Ed, when you were talking about certain moments from your past, I get a real clear tell in my body, and it will tell me not the specific emotion, because I can never know what you're feeling, but it will tell me within my body what's there and where I need to ask questions so we can pursue that more, we can find out what's going on, and then I take people through quite a blissful process to help them release it. Often when people think about trauma, they think of lying on a couch and being there for month after year and still talking about it, whereas I'm all about helping you to release it in a process that's really quite beautiful and calm, so that the memory doesn't go, but the negative impact of that trauma is gone forever.
Oh, that's just incredible. And I got to say, I love where you're going. And I was going to say, you work with all sorts of cool people. You work with people from industry people from business. You've worked with people from sporting industries and more. You've worked with some amazing high-powered people.
Yeah. So sport's been a lot of my background, and I have done some work in that space. So I did a bit with the Bulldogs. Started last year before we went into lockdown, and all that sort of came to an end. But I work with small business owners. I've got a corporate background, so I work with people in that space as well. But really the common part's not where they've come from, but it's more around what they've experienced and helping them release that thing that's been really negatively impacting their life for too long.
Oh, it's a pleasure. I have to say this, you're wearing my team, the Parramatta Eels. I got to say, I knew I liked you immediately, but you're wearing a Parramatta Eels tops. That just makes me feel good.
Yeah, nice.
No, but all seriousness is amazing. Ian, how can people get into contact with you and learn more about you?
Oh, I was going to say you can have this on LinkedIn, but you'll probably have it on a few different platforms. So my website's ianhawkinscoaching.com. That's also my tag on LinkedIn and most of my socials as well. So Ian Hawkins Coaching, and you'll find me somewhere.
Oh, pleasure. Ian, thank you so much for joining us. And to my fans around the world, please show maximum love to Ian. Ian, I'd love to give you the final word.
Thank you so much, Ed. I love what you've created, and I love how you spend so much time and energy promoting people and coming all the way to Hornsby to what you thought was a great adventure, which I think's old and tired and very much in need of a refurb. Thank you.
Love your work, Ian.
Cheers, mate.